How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be doing something just a little bit different. So, well, actually, we're going to be showing you right here. We're going to teach you guys how to use data packs and mods together. And this is kind of a cool one because I've done lots of videos using Cube.js. But this is going to be showing you guys how to essentially do the same thing, but without a secondary program or a third-party program. I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do this in your survivals. This is a survival world. Yes, we're using create items. I've made crafting recipes for those, but we're going to be teaching you guys how to essentially do that. Now, it's the same concept as using Cube.js, just slightly different and sometimes slightly easier in my opinion. So let's go ahead and show you the files you're going to need, and then we'll go through it all. So to start stuff off, we're going to go ahead and find whatever mod pack you want to play. So we have a bunch of different fun ones here. I'm in all of Create, so I'm going to right click on that and click Open Folder. And in here, basically, this is where you would find pretty much everything. Of course, we still have Cube.js in there. Someone also has already done a lot of things in Cube.js, I believe. Actually, this was from me. Okay, I did not realize that. This has been a while since I've recorded. But if you go into data packs, you can see we got some stuff here, but that's not what we want. You can, I guess you can say, keep them in your actual mod pack, data packs folder. But what we're going to do is we're going to go to saves. And of course, I have backups here, of course. And then this is our main one. So we double click into that. And we're going to go to data packs. And you see we got a bunch of stuff here. And we're going to make one from scratch. So the first thing you want to do is click new and click folder, or you can go ahead and click Control Shift N, and that'll open up or make a new folder for you. And then we're going to do this one called a tut data pack. Now, what we're going to be doing here is I'm going to show you how to make crafting recipes for certain items. So we're going to take something that doesn't have a crafting recipe, and that will be, let's say, the big cog wheel. I am going to go to creative for this because I want to be able to show it off. And if we type in the word gear, it's called giant gear. Now, from my understanding, there's no recipe for it and there's no usage for it either. So this is from create_dd giant gear, which is the name. So we just need to remember that for later. So let's go to minimize out of that. And we're going to basically be filling this folder with a bunch of stuff for your mod pack and your data packs. So I'm actually going to use one of my already existing ones. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use one of my already existing ones as a default thing, but I will walk you through what I want you to do. So just follow exactly what I do. If I can remember, I'll also put some of the files down there for you guys to download down in the description or in the comments. But basically, this is one of my folders that I'm going to be using. You'll see we got two folders in here. One's a data folder, and then one's a pack.mc meta folder. And how you do that is you just right-click, click New, and Document. And where it says .txt at the end, you want to make sure that's highlighted also. So click Control and A to highlight everything. And we're going to type pack dot .mc, and then META. Hit Enter. And it'll ask you if you want to change it. I don't know if that's going to mess up my original pack MC meta one. So I'm going to click no. But that's how you would do it. And then if you double click into pack MC meta, this is how you would edit it. I don't know if you can use the normal text note editor. So I'm going to be using Visual Studios or Visual Studio Code or whichever one to, actually do this. But this is Visual Studio Code. Now, this is the code you want to originally type into this part. I know it seems like a lot, but it's not. But this is basically just a file that tells Minecraft, hey, this is a data pack and this is what it's for. You need to use this. So all this basically is saying, hey, this is a type of pack. This is the pack format. Different formats or different versions. So right now I'm using pack format 34. You can look it up online what pack format number you should use based off of what version. There's lots of information out there on the internet. You can get it. And then in here, you can go ahead and change this. I never actually changed this, but if I could just say test, doesn't really do anything. It's just a description of what your mod is about. Once you do that, you can hit Control and S to save it and close out of it. Once again, all this information should be down below. And if it's not down below as a downloadable, I will have it where you can copy and paste it and then put it into your pack MC meta folder. For the data folder, like I said, Control Shift N to create a new folder. That will make a new folder for you. Call it data, no capitals. And in there, You don't have to have both of these. I just do so I can differentiate things. So I have a Minecraft folder and a create folder. This is just so I want to make a crafting recipe that changes create mod stuff. I will put it in the create folder. If I want a recipe that's going to change Minecraft stuff or use Minecraft items to change other stuff, I'll put it in the Minecraft folder. That's just personal preference. You guys would probably want to just do a create folder. But let's go ahead and go into that one now. So make a folder called create, make one called recipes. And once again, you don't have to do these. I'm just doing it because that is the folder convention that Create Mod uses when they do their own code. This is exactly how it's laid out. They got different versions of crafting, so they put them all in their own folders. Once again, we're just doing normal crafting in this recipe, or in this video. So just make a folder called crafting. And then in there, I made another one called kinetics because that's, again, how Create Mod does their folder conventions. It tells Minecraft technically, or puts it in its own folder convention to let them know, hey, this is a crafting recipe of this type for this type of block. I don't think it really matters, but that's how Create Mod does it. I've looked through their files, so that's how I'm doing it. So make another folder called kinetics. And then this is where you would want your recipes at. So all you got to do is right click, click new, click text document, and Control A to highlight everything. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do gear underscore res. The naming really doesn't really matter, but it's just gear res for gear recipe. And then I'm going to do .json. If my dot would work, dot, there we go. Hit enter. Are you sure you want to change it to being a new file type? Yes, because you put .json, so it changes it to a .json file. And then you want to go ahead and double click into it right here. And as you can see, it'll bring up this. It says generate code, Control I, or select a language, or start typing to dismiss, or don't show this again. We're going to minimize everything we had there, and we're going to go to the desktop. Now, ignore my desktop. I usually have 3 or 4 screens, so that's all spread out into different areas. I don't have those now. I only have one, so everything's jammed into one screen. But I have a folder here called 1.21.1 versions. This just has different things in here, like the create mod files and then files from Minecraft. You don't need all of them, but I'm just going to go to the create mod files. I would suggest you doing this. I've showed how to do this in other videos. I'll show it again. If you have the create mod here and you want to figure out what their files are, how to use them, this and that, all you got to do is right click and then click extract files, and it should extract it into a folder where you can get all their information. Once you got that folder, we're going to go into data. We're going to go to create. We're going to go to recipes. And as you see here, like I told you with the naming conventions of the folders beforehand, there is the recipes and then the different kinds of things here. But what we want is crafting. And then we're just going to go to, I guess, kinetics maybe. Or we could do that. We could do shoot maybe. Yeah, let's go ahead and do the shoot. We're going to double click on that one to open it up. So this is the code that they used for the shoot. Now, I know that sounds really crappy to do this, but I'm going to teach you guys how to copy and paste their code and change it into your own code so you can use it for whatever you want. So we're going to highlight everything inside the shoot.json file. We're just going to copy it, come over here, and we're going to paste it. So now this is for the gear thing where we're making the gears. We're going to change it over. So as you see here, the type of crafting is a shaped crafting recipe. So we will have to actually make a pattern on how the items should be crafted. We also have the keys. We have what key it is and then the tag of what it is. And we have 2 of them. So we have key of A and a key of I. And we also have our patterns and then the result and then how many it is and what it is also. So what we're wanting to do, open up Minecraft and hover over the gear, and it's create _DD giant gear. So let's go back into there. We're going to do create _DD, and then we'll type the word giant _gear. So that right there technically means we can make this thing out of this here, but we're going to change the recipes itself too. Now, just for something stupid, just so we can show you what we're going to do, we're going to look up a create mod thing. Let's grab a fluid pipe, and then let's add a shaft. we'll grab the shaft and a fluid pipe. So this is just create fluid pipe, and this is create shaft. Those are the names of it. Now, if you want to figure out those naming conventions for things when it comes to different mods or whatnot, all you got to do is hit F3 and hit H, and it'll show or hide the tooltips. So right now, if I look at it again, you can see it doesn't tell me anything. It just says it's from the create mod. If I hit F3 and then H again and look in there, you can see now we can see that it says create fluid underscore pipes. So back over here now, what we're going to do is we're going to change the word from tag to item. We want it to be an item. A tag is basically saying, hey, every item in the entire mod pack, there could be thousands of different mods, as long as that item has a tag of a item, like a forged plate, no matter what mod it is, as long as that mod has a tag of forged plate or a forged iron, then it'll work. Well, we don't want that. We just want an item itself. We're going to highlight the entire thing from forge all the way to iron, and we're going to type create, semicolon, and we're going to do shaft. For this one here, what did we choose the other one to be? Fluid pipe. So once again, we're going to change this one from being tagged to item. And we're going to change this entire line here to being create and then fluid underscore pipe. So basically that's saying that in the middle should be a pipe and top and bottom should be an item shaft. Let's go ahead and click save or Control S. Go back to Minecraft. And then what we could do is make sure we got plenty of each of these items. Yes, I'm in my survival world, and yes, I'm technically in creative. Yes, I will throw these out when I'm done. But if we do /reload, let that load up for a second, and then we'll see if it worked. Gotta love recording because I can cut all this shit out. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a crafting bench real quick. If we take the shafts and we put it on top and bottom, and we put the fluid pipes in there, you can see now we can make the giant gear. And it gives us 4 because our number counter said counter, or the amount is 4. So that's how we would change the recipes there. And of course we can go ahead and do it, and now we got 2 stacks. That's a lot of gears of things that we don't need because they don't work or they aren't used for anything. Now, of course, you can add a usage for them, like add them as a crafting recipe for something else. But it works with sequence assemblers too. Like anything that they have in here, anything that you can find in the recipes folder, all of these different things, you can take all of these recipes. And like I said, this is ripping their code and using it. But look how much is here. There's so much you can learn how to do by just opening up the files. And that's why I'm making these videos, to kind of teach everybody how to do it. So if this video helped you guys out at all, or you want to see other stuff happen in datapacks or Cube.js or so on and so forth, let me know. I'll do my best to make them, and I hope this helped you guys out a lot. If so, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.